1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Woo!
Hello guys and welcome back to this one. Today we are going to be looking at complexity, right? And we are now going to now bring home everything we've been working on, like to this one point at the apex or the zenith of, the explanation. So just to like give a recap. So we went from the brute force, which basically took, you know, all the files um coming into the system, or let's say the code, or basically it's coming in to be processed, right? And then we went through every single one of them one after the other, and then we you know picked out, oh, which one is the closest distance, and basically we then came back and sorted it, right? Because we've calculated the distance, we come here, we sort, and then we get the key, right? But we could see the waste at the point, and then we came down to the k closest star optimization, where we now took a heap, turned it into a max heap, and then basically immediately put the limit to the amount of values that we want, basically the kits value. And then we also went ahead to compare the edge of the heap with the value coming in, right? And basically the value coming, the edge of the heap and the value coming in, and we compared that, and then immediately we were able to like know the values that are supposed to be within the heap. And basically the heap was like kind of our edge, right? Then we then went ahead to see what is going to be within it and what's not going to be within it, and then obviously we resolved, right? um we reversed this heap because we were using a max heap, and a max heap is not it's not how do I say, it's not intrinsic, so we have to engineer it. So because of the minus we added to all the values, right, we had to reverse to get the real, from lowest to highest, right? And then we went ahead to get print out the values without the minus sign. Now, having gone through this, now we begin to look at the complexity now. So we say n log k, right? Why do we say n? First off, we say n because we are going to go through every star, right? All the stars coming in from the file, we are going to iterate through it, and we are going to, yeah, basically iterate through it, and basically work in the sense of like limiting, so bringing that star into the heap and checking if it is um worthy, or basically within the heap distance or limits, right? And then why do we then say log k, right? Log k is simply, right, the heap. So how does the heap process that and have the ability to return us the maximum value at every point in time, right? So the way it rearranges itself to be able to do that, right? That pop and append ability, or how you say it here, push, and yeah, that push ability, right, is what we have as log k, right? Now it says because we visit every star and use a k size heap to evaluate staying or discarding. So basically pushing or popping, right? So that's the reason we have that time complexity. Then we move over to the space complexity. How much space did we use? How much space was the heap? The heap had a limitation between 0 to k, or the k 10. So basically that's the amount of value that we held in our RAM. Hence the space complexity O of k. So we've gone through it, we've seen the loss, we've seen the code go through the system, and now we've seen the complexity. So we see the amount of loss that is limited by using this um, abstract data structure to work, right? So yeah, I think this is the last one for this series. So next up we are going to be jumping into 11.3, and as usual we'll go through it in the methodical way we've been doing. So muchas gracias, see you on the next one. Ciao.